network security threat and tools. Okay. So what network security threat? Network security threat is any potential danger that exploit a vulnerability to compromise a network security. Okay, when we talk about threat, we are talking about things that can affect a network. Okay, things that can tamper with the network. So those are the things we're looking at threat. Like if they say somebody is threatening your life, that means the person is maybe trying to kill you or trying to harm you. So when we're talking about network security threat, then we're talking about things that are trying to harm the network. Okay, things that are trying to breach the network. Okay, so why do we need to look at this network security threat? One, it's important because it helps you to identify the threat early. Okay, it helps you to identify the threat early, and then you can, if you identify the threat early, you can find a way of preventing the damage. Okay, just like if you know that somebody is coming to rob your house this night, the person already threatening you that they will come and rob your house this night. So you definitely do something about it, right? You try to prevent it, or maybe you pack your valuable things and keep somewhere safe. So that's so it helps you to identify the threat early, and then mitigations can prevent severe damages. So some of example of this threat that we're talking about are things like malware. Okay, we have phishing, we have DDoS, which is denial of distributed denial of service attacks. Then we have insider threat. So let's look at these things one after the other. Okay, so malware. When we talk about malware, where malware is, there is two words. Okay, malware is two words combined together. Two words combined together. Okay, so mal means malicious, then that ware means software. So when you hear malware, they're talking about malicious software. Okay, so a malware is a software, a malicious software designed to harm. It can either harm or exploit the system. It can either harm or exploit the system. So that is what malware does. It can either harm or exploit the system. Then what are the types of malware? We have viruses. Okay, I know some of you might be wondering, maybe virus is just things that attack only human beings. Viruses also attack computers, just like the same way viruses attack human beings. Viruses also attack computers. Okay, we have Trojans. Trojan is like a kind of a software that if it attacks your system, it can go through your files remotely without you even knowing. Somebody can access your files using Trojan. Okay, somebody can access everything on your system. They can even on your system camera and be watching you from wherever they are. Then we have ransomware. Ransomware, what it tries to do is like kidnap the things on your system, so that maybe until you pay a certain amount of money before they can release your files or your items to you, especially if you have sensitive items on your system. Okay, so we have spyware as well. And the second threat that we're looking at is phishing and social engineering. Okay, so phishing, for those of you that attended my last training, you must have known most of these things, just that we did not do any practical examples. So phishing is like they can send you a link. They'll send you a link to either your email or even WhatsApp. At times you just see some, especially when a particular agency or ministry or government parastatal they are employing, you'll just be seeing different links flying around. At the end, you might not even know which is the actual correct link to click and apply for the job. Okay, so that is kind of phishing. People will just send out fake links. Some is it could just be bloggers trying to gain traffic to their website. Some are just attackers. They're trying to get you to fill your sensitive information. You know, most of these jobs require things like your BVN, your NIN. So they are just looking at ways to gather sensitive information, and maybe they can use it later on to empty your account or launch an attack on you. Okay, so phishing and social engineering they are kind of the same. Okay, social engineering, that's what all these Yahoo boys, that's what they do. What they do is social engineering. They try to like pretend to be someone they are not. Like they'll be chatting you, try to gather information, trick you, like get you to maybe send money or send sensitive information, and they'll use it to attack you. So that's like social engineering. They try to play mind games on you. Okay, like some could tell you they have maybe some goods that they want to clear from the airport. They need so amount of dollars to clear it. They have computers, they have iPad, blah blah blah, and then they'll tell you to send some money so that they can use it and clear the goods. When they clear it, they will give you half of the goods, blah blah blah, all those kind of things. And then you are ignorant, you say, wow, this is a good deal. Is it not just $200? Is it not just $100? Let me give them. When they clear the goods, they'll give me half of the goods, the container. So all of those things is just social engineering. They're trying to trick you into doing stuff that on a normal day you will not do. Okay, so they trick users into providing sensitive information. Okay, so we have things like phishing email, spear phishing, then we also have vishing. Then what are some of the impact of phishing or social engineering? It can lead to credential theft or unauthorized access. Just imagine that somebody access your bank, your account unauthorized, and empty your account through maybe phishing or social engineering. They were able to get sensitive information, maybe like your ATM pin or stuff, and they use it to empty your account. So the impact is very much. It's very high. It's not something you want to experience. Now we have DDoS, distributed denial of service attacks. Okay, so what this kind of attack does is they will just try to overload your network. If you're maybe a company, they're trying to a company that uses a particular maybe a network, they'll try to overload the network. Okay, they'll try to overload the network with like too much traffic. They have like how will I put it? They have like they can create like kind of robotic computers that will attack, that will try to access the network at the same time and create too much traffic that will overwhelm the entire network, thereby slowing the network down. Okay, so what they do is that once they can slow the network down, your network becomes poor and you will not be able to do what you are doing. Most banks have experienced this. Okay, that's why at times you try to do a transaction on a particular bank, you just discover that the thing is just misbehaving. You send money, the money, you will not know whether the money went or it did not, and then the next thing they'll just debit you, or you send money, the person that's supposed to receive it will not get a credit alert. So at times it could be such this kind of attack that is going on. Distributed denial of service. Okay, then we have insider threat. This insider threat is like this is one of the most common and most damaging. Okay, because when we talk about insider, that means it's someone that is working within that same organization that maybe is offended by the organization or the boss or someone, so he just try to sell out information to criminals. In fact, this is very, very common. Like, imagine someone that is working in the bank. The person has access to the bank software and he knows how the bank works, and then all of a sudden, maybe because of one little challenge or the other, they sack the person. Okay, so what do you expect? Before you know, this person, if he's angry with the bank, next thing he will look for how to start attacking the bank. That's why at times money will just disappear from your account. You'll be wondering, but how did this person get all this information? How did the person get all those things that was able to wipe my account or able to steal money from my account? You go to the bank, they will keep turning you, go from, come back, go and come back, fill from here, do this. Most of those things, there are people that have been in the bank system, they know how the bank works, and they turn and use all those things against the bank, steal money from customers, because they already know how to access customer information and they have access to almost everything about the customer. Okay, so these are threats originating from within the organization, and is usually from a disgruntled employee. Accidental breaches, some could happen unknowingly. You understand? Maybe someone can just enter your organization now and pretend to be maybe one of your boss from one other branch, and they will be asking for some sensitive information, and you, now being a junior, you might not want to say no. You'll just be giving out information, and then maybe later on it will turn out this person is not actually a worker. or it's not even a staff of that organization. Okay, the impact can be more damaging due to trusted access. So this is also one of the threat when we talk about network threat. And we have man in the middle, MITM attack. For me, I call this amebo. Like in Nigeria we call it amebo. Like someone can be listening, maybe you're having a very sensitive conversation and someone is just hanging somewhere and listening to what you are saying without you knowing. So that's the way man in the middle attack works. Just like maybe when you make a call, someone can tap into your call and be listening to your conversation. So whatever you're conversing on the phone, the person is listening. Or you could also have like your chat. Someone can tap into your chat, whatever messages you're sending, the person is eavesdropping on the messaging. Okay, that's why at times when you send a message on WhatsApp or maybe Facebook Messenger, you see they write this message is end-to-end encrypted. That means your chat are safe. Okay, if you are not seeing something like that, end-to-end encryption, that means someone can easily hijack your message and be reading. Okay, so example of this eavesdropping on unencrypted connections and session hijacking. Okay, so to prevent this, always use website that have HTTPS. Okay, if you see any website that is having just HTTP, that means that website is not secure. HTTPS, that S means secure shell. Is a security measure that is added to HTTP protocol. So any website without that HTTPS is not a secure website. And let's say you're in using a public Wi-Fi and you don't know if the Wi-Fi is secure or not, you can always use VPN to double your security. Okay, that's how you can prevent this man in the middle. So let's carry on. So let's look at some network security tools. So tomorrow, for those of you that have not installed Kali, tomorrow we're going to be looking at Wireshark. So if you have not installed Kali, I will advise you try and get it before tomorrow's class. Okay, so what are network security tools? These are softwares, or it could also be hardware, designed to monitor, one, analyze and defend your network. Okay, so these tools now, they are tools that you can use in order to defend all those threats that we have talked about. Okay, so it can either be a software or a hardware, and is designed to monitor, analyze and defend the network. Okay, so some of the tools might just be to monitor. Some might be able to monitor and analyze. Some might be able to monitor, analyze and defend. Some might just be able to defend. Okay, so depending on the kind of tool that you are using, that will tell you what it can do. And also some of the tools can allow you to do your settings, maybe to just monitor without analyzing, or monitor, analyze and defend, all of that together. Then we have categories. We have what we call intrusion dictation systems. Okay, so what this does is it can dictate an intruder. If intruder, that means somebody that is gaining on unauthorized access to the system. That means the person is not supposed to be a user. So that's what they mean by intruder. Okay, so intrusion dictation system. If someone tries to intrude the system, it will immediately dictate and alert the owner of the system, okay, that so and so person is trying to access your system. Okay, so this, we also have these things in hardware. There are even some padlock now that have intrusion dictation on it. If you touch it, if you are not the owner, it will just start shouting, it will blow an alarm. Okay, or maybe even security doors. If you come, if you are not the owner, like doors that use fingerprint or access card, if you don't put the correct access card, the next thing the door will start shouting. And we have firewalls, we have antivirus, VPNs, which we already talked about. Okay, so we're going to be focusing on the practical use of these tools, how they function in real world. So like I said, if you don't have your Kali yet, you might want to install it, because the software we'll be using tomorrow, Wireshark and Nmap, they are all in Kali. Okay, so we have IDS and IPS. IDS, just like we saw, is intrusion dictation system. IPS, on the other hand, is intrusion prevention system. So why IDS dictate, IPS prevent? Okay, so you can take immediate action to block the threat. If it dictate that, okay, someone try to access your system. Okay, when we're talking about system, I hope you understand what we're saying. It could be a software, just like maybe your Facebook account, it could be your Instagram account, it could be your physical system or whatever. Okay, so if like on Facebook now, there's a feature on Facebook called 2FA that you set with your email and or maybe your phone number. If someone tries to access your Facebook from another phone, maybe without your authorization, they'll just send you an email that someone is trying to access your email from so phone. They'll even give you the model of the phone and all of that, and the location of the person. Okay, I think even some phones have that. If someone tries to unlock your phone without your knowledge, your phone will just snap the person's picture and upload it on your email. Okay, or you can send it to your second phone if you're with your second phone. So some phones have that feature as well. So some of the tools that are used for IDS is Snort. Snort. You can either use Snort or Wireshark or Nmap. So tomorrow we'll be looking at Wireshark and how it works. And we also have firewalls. So what firewalls does, we already talked about these things, I think, in one of our previous classes. Wireshark filters incoming and outgoing network traffic. Okay, so Wireshark does packet filtering, stateful inspection. We also have next gen firewalls. So you can configure your firewall in such a way that it to tell the firewall what to do maybe just to filter, or like it will decide what kind of packet will pass through it and what kind of packet will not pass through, either to block or allow specific type of packet. Then we have network monitoring and analysis tools, which is still the same thing. Wireshark, we have SolarWinds, Nagios. So this tool, what it does is monitor traffic and look at the performances. Is the network fast? Is it slow? What is the network normal? Are there abnormalities? Okay, so with Wireshark you'll be able to see all of this. Okay, so like I said, tomorrow we'll be using Wireshark to capture the packets and analyze them, and you see how Wireshark works. Then VPNs, we also talked about VPNs, virtual private networks. It encrypts internet traffic between client and the server. You know, whenever you're communicating with someone, your message doesn't like go straight to the person you're communicating with. That's why when you have messages like a WhatsApp conversation, you discover that your messages don't wipe. Okay, except maybe you set it to delete after 24 hours or after some time, but all those conversations, you see, they are stored. Even messages, conversations you had 10 years ago on your WhatsApp, if you have not lost your phone or formatted the phone, you discover that those conversations will still be there. Those conversations are being stored on a server. Okay, so when you send a message, it first goes to the server, then the client, that's the person you're communicating with, will get it from the server. The same thing with the person, the one the person sent. So it keeps going like that, to and fro. Okay, so what VPN does is it encrypts your traffic between the client and the server, so that there's enough security. VPN can also try to modify your location where you're chatting from. Maybe you are chatting from Nigeria and you don't want anybody to know that your messages are coming from Nigeria. You can change your location. So VPN can do applications such as remote access. You can have secure communication over untrusted networks such as open Wi-Fi. Okay, then some of the example of VPN that we have open VPN, and we have IPsec, which simply means IP security VPN. Then antivirus and anti-malware software. All of these are things each and every one of us here should be familiar with, especially antivirus and anti-malware, except if you have never used system before. This one is normally something that should be on your system, but to dictate and remove malicious software. Even though there are some viruses that are very strong, like there are some malicious software that are very strong, that they will bypass your antivirus and do whatever they want to do without any stress. Okay, so some of example of antiviruses are or anti-malware softwares. We have Kaspersky, we have Bitdefender, Windows Defender, and there are many other antiviruses like Norton. We have what are all those their names? There are a lot of antiviruses out there. So though most Windows now they come with Windows Defender. If your Windows Defender is up to date, you don't really need an antivirus in your system, because Windows Defender will do just the right thing. Okay, so Your antivirus will keep scanning throughout your system, especially when you plug a flash or when you connect to the internet or you want to download something. It will keep scanning. If it sees anything that looks malicious, it will delete it, except maybe you set it. You can set your antivirus not to delete certain things. Like there are even some softwares that if that your antivirus will dictate and just delete them. Your antivirus will see them as antivirus sees them as a threat to your system, so it will just delete the software immediately, even though at times some of those software are not threat. So that will be all for tonight. I think that was less than like 30 minutes lecture. Get your Wireshark ready for tomorrow class. Wireshark and Nmap. Most importantly, Wireshark. Please get them ready. Tomorrow we'll try to see how it works, how to capture and analyze network traffic using Wireshark.